So that shiny new game just came out. Testament, the Order of High Human, and you want to know if it's worth your time, right? Well, let's take a look at the game for some first impressions. Before I begin, keep in mind this is only about 1 hour and 15 minutes into the game. You begin the game by being bandaged in a chair by a strange monster. Then when you wake up, that's when you make your escape.
That monster mended my wounds.
After walking a ways away, the monster attacks you. At this point, you're running away until he eventually catches you and throws you off a cliff. When you come to, you walk a ways until you come across a body with a sword. Combat with the sword is It doesn't feel great. Is it terrible? No, but it's not great either. Right after killing your first monster, you get introduced to the skill tree. Here you can upgrade your powers and abilities. When you walk around, you come across items that can be broken, such as crates. That green gem I just picked up is called a condensed life essence. You use them to restore your health, but you can only carry 4 of them. Stealth kills, as far as I can tell, are always one-hit kill. I only played an hour though, so I'm unsure if it's like this throughout the whole game. As to who you are, you play as the immortal king of high humans, Iran, after you've lost your divine powers and fall to the ground in the land of Tassara, because your brother Arva betrayed you. You're more or less mortal at this point. When you find chests like this, you can get new items to craft in your crafting menu that will help you kill enemies. You also get shards of creation, which is needed to craft said items. Another weapon you get to use is a bow. I much prefer the bow over the sword, but with the bow you can only carry 12 arrows. Oh, I forgot to mention, after an enemy dies, the body disappears. Takes away a bit of realism, but it is what it is. After killing monsters and moving forward, you meet your brother for the first time in the game. The main character's voice acting here becomes incredibly echoey all of a sudden, and it becomes so much worse sounding.
So much. It is so sad. The king of high humans, struggling with lowly creatures.
How can you stand before me after you slaughtered all your brethren? Being so proud for disgracing your king? Why did you ruin everything when we finally had a chance at destroying darkness in Tassara once and for all? Why?
Even now you won't stop blabbering about the Seeker's ideals. Why do you insist on being a puppet to an old relic? Haven't we sacrificed enough? Why must I repel darkness when I can embrace it? Where did your way of light get you?
After 10,000 years, you're still a fool. I failed this realm as its guardian, but it will not happen again. It's your last chance to turn back, Harva.
Take this next part for instance. Why did he suddenly sound like a cowboy?
This time I won't hesitate to cut you down.
That caught me off guard.
You talk big for the failure of the king. Standing against me without your powers, but even as a high human you couldn't. Try it, mortal. Let's see your futile struggle to change this realm's fate.
The Four Gardens was our home. How could you destroy it?
Then, right after the scene, his voice sounds normal again. Weird. Then you soon come across that monster who saved you again, and he makes you fall to an underground area. This is where you first get magic to use. As you progress, it seems you slowly become more and more powerful again, regaining power you once had. Your ultimate goal is to confront your brother to restore the land of Tassara to what it once was. You'll be fighting all sorts of monsters along the way of your journey. Platforming and puzzles seem to be a key component to this game. In the time I played, there was a section of this which I did not really like. I'm not one for platforming or puzzles, and the time it took was a little long for me. While easy, I was pretty bored of it. I'm just not a fan of these things. Here's an example of one of the few puzzles I did as well. One odd thing I did notice is that if there's a loading screen, the hints on the bottom don't scroll or say the rest, it's just cut off. Eventually, after you get past that part, you get to fight enemies again. I got to test my magic power for the first time. It's not bad. I like it. When you have magic equipped and run, your hands go side to side as if you're dancing to a song or something. I couldn't help but think how weird the hands looked when running. The magic ability actually has a long range to it, as you can see here. The downside of magic is that it uses condensed spirit essence. It's the blue gems you can find, and it's represented by the blue bar on the top left of the screen. Green is health. You can also only hold 4 of these essences, which makes how often you can use magic limited. Here I decided to try an item from the crafting area, and this item makes my sword catch on fire. Effective. Next I tried the one that does fire damage with the bow. The results were the same. The game's graphics actually look pretty nice. I don't mind it at all. Also, in the time I played, the game was pretty linear. It's definitely not open world, or at least at this point in the game it isn't. Does the world get bigger the further into the story you go? I don't know. What I do know is that there is very limited exploration, simply because you're limited to where you can roam, at least so far. I had fun messing around with the combat in this game, but not so much with the platforming and puzzles. Overall, I'd say I like this game, but it's not gonna blow your mind or anything like that. Hopefully I've helped you decide whether or not this is your type of game. Whether it is or isn't, I'll see you on the next game.